This is your streamer's personal little review. I would say it is honestly not too shabby, if I can say this myself. And no, this was not AI generated, right? This was not Limpe. Don't use AI, bro. Right? I went to university, so this is basically my cook. If you are interested, I mean, like, if you guys haven't played, don't you really need to read this? But I think this is very, very, very deserving of its Game of the Year title. And like, the important thing to I guess I kind of like came to realization, right, is that after I wrote this little like short little summary of like my thoughts, I encountered a couple of comments, which essentially is that the Mael ending is not always the clear-cut wrong choice to some players, because to them, the citizens of Lumiere, like Sayao, Lune, and all like Gustav, everybody, right? It's like, to them, it's a real thing. So by choosing the Mael ending, you are effectively committing genocide in a certain sense, because you are essentially letting go of this painting and moving on to the past, which is where I think like some people think that like, it is not super clear cut. But to me, I don't really feel this way, because I think it's really, really clear cut of like why there's only gonna be one reasonable ending. And that's gonna be from this over here. W retweet, by the way. Very, very good, very, very nice. But in any case, I felt that it is exactly because that the citizens of Lumiere and like what they meant to Mael, or rather in this point in Alicia, right? Like what they meant to Alicia is literally exactly what Aline was going through. It is an exact same feeling that the game developers were trying to give to the player, because we started off from the perspective of Mael, right? We started off from the perspective of Gustav into like Lumiere. We don't know who the Desandres are, right? So like you are pictured into this world between chapter 1 and chapter 2, all along. Like, to you, Expedition 33 is like the people that you grew up with, right? Just like how my El's memory got erased, and then she, in her mind, is like Gustav and like everyone else. Those are like her treasured like friends, family, and everything, right? It is exactly the same as Aline, because Aline is essentially, she cannot let go the loss of her son. And in a sense, she always hated Alicia for indirectly causing like the loss of Varso's life, right? And at that point, she was like, because she wants to, essentially, her coping mechanism to stay in Varso's final painting, and to the point where she basically created this entire world of like painted people, right? Like the painted Mael, painted Gustav, painted like all these people, even like a version of her own son, which is Varso. And if you had chose Mael's ending, you were essentially gonna be like going down to the exact same path as Aline, which is where the game also showed you like towards the end. Mael was like her face was like disintegrating, and like it was like giving a hell of vibes similar to the Mad Paintress, and she was essentially gonna go into a even worse path than Aline, because the flip side is we actually saved Aline. Right, like if you chose the Varso ending, you actually brought Aline out into the real world along with Renoir, and then you met with the Klee, and everybody got out and they can heal together as a family as they move forward away from this tragedy that is Varso's death. But if you chose the Mael ending, no one's gonna come and save you anymore, right? There won't be another person to come and try to bring you out from this like delusion that you're living in, which is Lumiere. And as real as the citizens are, right, as real as all those people, all the little kids, right, all the Gastros, all the Nonoko, Monoko, like as real as they feel it is not. So that would have been like definitively the wrong choice, and I just don't see any justification, because like the rationale of like, okay, you're killing all these people, right? They are essentially real people in that canvas, is like the Desandres, they are God, right? They are basically the creator of like the canvas, and you are essentially playing into God's plan, and you will sacrifice these creations so that you can be ripped back onto reality, right? But at the end of the day, a painting will always just kind of remain a painting. And I think that's also what makes E33 such a amazing game, is because as hard as it is to make that choice, you still have to make that choice. Which is why I drew this parallel towards this thing over here. It is, if I were to put it into a gacha game perspective, right? It's like if you're like a if you're Alicia, right, you're basically a daughter, right? You're basically like the daughter, and like you want to keep on playing gacha games. You want to keep on living in that delusion, right? I think a better example is probably like your mom. Maybe your mom is like the addicted gacha game player, right? Your mom never ever wants to let go of this gacha game, because that gacha game was her son's favorite game, in a sense, right? So in order to cope with this inability to rationalize that, okay, you know what, Varuso is gone, she keeps on going back in this world of this gacha game where her son used to be, and that last piece of his soul, which is what is like the little Wuthering, she tried to create this memory. Okay, yep, this place is good. This place is happy. The dad, right, your dad is not about it, right? That's why your dad doesn't give a fucking reason why he's like killing Gustav. Like, whenever Gustav, like, why do you do this? He doesn't give a flying fuck. Because, like, to him, all these people in Lumiere, they're basically just like paintings. They are basically NPCs. They are basically your husbands and waifus. It doesn't matter anything to Rona. So the dad comes in trying to bring the mom out into the real world. So unfortunately, he's stuck there because Aline is also a very, very powerful like painter, right? So like the Expedition 33 number is like the countdown of cycles or rather the years remaining on how long she can hold off your dad before he beats the ever-living fuck of her and just deletes the entire world, deletes this gacha game, and bring her back into reality. And you know what? Yeah, your son is dead. So your role as the daughter of like this mom, right, is like you are also gonna go into this gacha game trying to bring out your mom, except then you are also addicted to the gacha game. So what ends up happening is, now that you have fallen into this gacha game addiction, oh my god, Firefly is your, like, Kazir is your side, and everybody here, you think that is real, like, you grew up with them, you didn't have the memory of who you were in the real life, you just started out in this gacha game, and oh wait, I am actually a real life playing player. But then she comes into this weird state in which, okay, you know what, there's the real life outside of this gacha game is so much worse, right? Your brother is dead, your face got burned off, half your eye is gone, your face is like cooked, you have no voice. So like, why would you even want to go back to the real world when in this gacha game, you will literally have everything. Your brother didn't die. You have this painted version of your brother. You could just keep on playing with these units, right? Or your girlfriend is real. They're gonna show you love and care and affection, right? You have Monoko. You have your E6 S5. So why would you ever want to leave this gacha game? Even though every single moment there is just you denying like what is happening to the real world, which is your entire family is basically crumbling, right? Your dad is trying to like save your mom, and now you're gonna be adding like even one more layer of burden for your dad to try to save, because bro is not gonna be invisible. Then your other sister, the Klee was like just out there trying to find out who the fuck killed the brother, right? So like she doesn't really give a fuck, right? So at the end of everything, the only right choice is to accept that yes, these things, these creations, as real as they are in that game itself, right? HSR is a little bit like Serene, as much as you want to say like the people of Enforce, they're like codes or whatever. At the end of the day, they are just codes. And then when you peel back into the real world, eventually one day you have to go there. Which is why I think like the writing towards the end, they showcase like Maella and Adisa, she was like dying, she was disintegrating. Because you can't just stay in a gacha game forever, right? You can't just stay in this canvas forever, because eventually you need to eat. You need to like study, right? You need to get a job, right? You can't just keep playing gacha game for the rest of life. Eventually, at some point, you have to come out. And the longer it takes for you to get to the understanding, is that the more pain it's gonna cause to your family, right? To your dad, to your mom, and everyone around you. But the moment you can realize that, okay, you know what? There's a gacha game. My brother is gone, and then when I air, that's when you log out from the game. Your dad deletes the game from your phone. He deletes Genshin. Bada boom, bada bing, right? I'll say goodbye to Kalambina. No more yay. No more yay. But after finally deleting the gacha game, can your entire family move forward? Because I wanted to say something poetic, but I kind of lost my train of thought. So that's gonna be that, right? Okay, yo, help me get that for a clip channel. Help me get that for a clip channel. Expedition 33 explained in gacha terminology, and I saw this little video, right? It was like explaining why E33's choice at the end. It was so well done. It's because in Varso's final moments, he was such a real image of the dead Varso that the pain that Varso saved his mom one last time. It was pain that Varso that finally broke both the mom and Alicia out from this cycle of painting. Because the Varso is really gone, right? But because the memories of like how close like Aline had of Varso, it was so well executed in this paint of Varso, he still did what the real Varso would have done, which is to ultimately sacrifice himself, the entire canvas, the entire world, committing like basically wipe out this existence just for the sake of saving his real life family members. As what real Varso did to sacrifice himself in order to save his sister. It's like, oh my god, it was so good, right? So, yeah, Expedition 33 is an absolute fucking cinema game. I'm really glad that we finally finished it. But that is pretty much gonna be my little yapping. I know there's like a lot of different lores in E33, and the game technically has like a lot of things to do. There's a build. I saw Simon, by the way. I saw Simon. I was reading through like the lore. There was like Expedition 60. Yep, there's Expedition 60, there's like the useless expedition, then there's this expedition where they deform the bridge and they go into the enemies. So I was like digging a lot, so just because like, oh my god bro, this game is like really fucking good, right? So I hope you guys get a try for yourselves one fine day. I'm not sponsored by that, I'm not sponsored by E3, but that pretty much, yeah, Expedition 60 was crazy, man.
You have cooled your last cool, my man.